Hello and welcome to the Walk and Love podcast. I'm TJ.
And I'm Brooke. And it's along for the ride, apparently.
And today we're going to talk about discomfort on both ends.
No, it's discomfort on both sides. That makes it sound like you've got discomfort coming out of both ends. And that is that's a double dragon topic. But discomfort on both sides will be the name of the episode, people.
Okay. Which could lead to discomfort on both ends.
From both ends. It's true.
I forgot that I was doing different intros. So I panicked at the end.
And all your energy went into that, saying hello differently. Smart.
Thank you for listening to the Walk and Love podcast, a weekly conversation between Brooke and I about rhythms, faith, emotion, parenting. It's a place where we laugh and sometimes cry as we try to find language to live a full life.
Okay. A more fuller life.
Fuller,
joyful,
the fullerest of lives.
Yes. And if you like your listening to line up with your living, then you are in the right place. Is my microphone, I can hear myself really loud in those headphones?
I think just the headphones are turned up.
I can just hear myself somewhere. It's weird.
Weird. Thank you for listening to the Walk and Love podcast. We are currently in the middle of our fall collection, the Rejoice Always collection. And so if you want a great way to support the Walk and Love podcast, buying a t-shirt or two or a sweatshirt or three is a great way to do that. The Rejoice Always collection is full of inspirational reminders you can wear for your everyday life. If you need a uniform for your daily life, not talking like you got to wear a pantsuit to work.
Right. Ugh.
Yeah. Unsubscribe. But if you have to, so be it.
If you have to, make it fun.
Yeah. But when you get out, when you get home and you're like, this pantsuit is riding in places I don't want it to ride in.
It's coming out of both ends.
It's coming out of both ends.
Yeah. Get it off of me.
Get it off of me. You need something to wear.
Yeah.
And why not wear something to inspire you?
Yes. That's also crazy comfortable.
Crazy comfortable. So that's where Walk and Love steps in.
Yeah.
So go buy a t-shirt. And thank you very much for doing so.
Yeah.
I always say that if the entire Butt Clencher family buys a shirt, we will have the most successful launch we've ever had of all time. Mm-hmm. And so maybe that could be this one.
Maybe.
I'd be into it. I mean, I'd be for sure into it.
Yeah.
So
I'd have excitement coming out of both ends in that scenario.
I'd have a double dragon of excitement.
Yeah, pretty much.
I think I'm gonna start using that in my normal day-to-day life.
Are you like normal excited or like double dragon excited? Like, just tell me where we're at so I know.
I have a story to tell.
Okay.
You know your friend who notices gum chewing?
Yes.
Can I say her name? I don't know. I've met her many a times.
Yes.
And
she's so kind.
So kind. And maybe it's the way that I look at her. I don't know. Like
Do
now
you
I'm
look like a crazed, I don't know who you are human.
Every time she's like, hey, you know my name, right? Like, this is my name, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, we've met and had like a lot of conversations. And so I'm like, now I'm like in my head about it. And so because we ran into her, we were going to watch the sunset the other night, and we ran into her. But you had already gone to the car because Sunny had fallen on some rocks, and so she was crying. So you took her to the car, and I was
yuck rocks. And I had taken her to the car.
She had yuck rocks on yuck knees, and so it was just a whole yuck, a whole lot of yuck.
Yeah.
And
right, and then that's when you ran into her.
Hey, and I was like, oh,
it's me.
Hey, how are you? And this is my name. You know that, right? I'm like, yes. But now I'm in my head that I'm like,
do I hope you don't look like that.
Got crazy eyes looking at her.
Yeah. It's the eyes. Those are the same eyes when I was coming out of the bathroom at the airport.
Yeah.
And you were getting ready to run for your ID.
Yes. And part of me wants to be like, now part of me wants to mess with her. And like,
just start saying other names.
Oh yeah, you're the girl that like talks about gum chewing.
No, I told her we talked about that. She was like, oh really? Oh, okay. Interesting. And I was like, see, you're doing it now. Interesting. So you like talk about me on the podcast. You're like one of those people.
And you know my name, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't remember it now. So that happened. Another thing that happened this week that I think is worth sharing is I'm going to paint the picture.
Okay.
It was day.
Wow. Master of words right there.
So on Saturdays, which is our Sabbath,
yeah,
we normally take naps at some point of the day.
Right.
And this last Saturday, I took a nap so
I know where we're
hard.
going.
So like hard that it's almost like, did that actually help my body, or did it send me into like a coma like state? And so I get up and
You also continue. We're over a decade into marriage and you continue to nap on the couch amidst the chaos of life and children.
There's just something about napping on a couch
which
that's
is
so
fine.
fun.
I just like, it blows my
If
mind.
you would buy me a couch for upstairs in our room, I would do it up there.
Well, okay.
So just, I'm waiting.
Good to know.
I'm waiting for the
your
day.
nap couch.
Or my nap couch.
That's like,
Forget a
that's
lazy
like a
boy.
garage fridge.
Yeah.
It's like next level, right?
What's next level over a garage fridge?
We got a garage freezer, people.
Wow.
It's really exciting.
It's really exciting.
It's got
Anyways.
7 drawers. Okay.
Anyway, so
you were like dead
asleep. You know, I set an alarm so I don't sleep until like 7 p.m. and then stay up all night. I wake up and I walk downstairs and I tell
No, you're already downstairs.
That's
You're
right.
on the couch.
True. That's true.
You walked into the kitchen.
I walked in the kitchen. I said, oh, I don't know if that helped. And I said, you ever feel like after you take a really long nap, I wish I could do the body motions, that you sort of feel like a troll, like
it's like a goblin troll.
a goblin troll, like you're like hunched over.
Nothing's working.
Your arms don't work. You're like sort of
out of it. Oh, bless you.
Sorry. You have sort of like your like legs are bowed out and you're like kind of crouched.
Like if I threw something at you, you couldn't catch it. No
You're
way.
like,
it's so bright.
You know, you're just like trying to walk and function again. That's how I felt. And so I was like, do you ever feel like this, Brooke? Like it's like I took a troll nap, like I'm a goblin now. And you start laughing, and then like a few minutes later you go, hey, can you grab me something from our garage fridge?
Yeah, you were headed out there to get something for yourself.
Yeah.
And I yelled, can you get, I don't know what it was, whatever, for me too.
And I said, goblin, sir.
We laughed about goblin serve.
So I don't know if anybody ever experiences that, but I certainly did.
Yeah.
So
I'm into it though. I'm into the, if you take a nap that hard, I can ask you to do things because you have, it's like, what's the Harry Potter
it's
elf?
like I'm Dobby.
Yes.
I mean,
so I get like 10 minutes of
10 minutes of
Dobby serving.
It's worse than Dobby though. Like
No,
Dobby's
Dobby's
at
so
least
kind.
like bubbly. It's more troll like.
Yeah. It's very specific task.
Yes. So one thing that we've done recently is we had this sort of community page on this platform called Circle.
Mm-hmm.
No one was using it. Or very few people were using it.
Yeah.
I think because it's like just another thing to check. So we've moved that over to just a normal Facebook page, which I think will be easier for people to just like interact with and more in their sort of like daily repertoire of apps. I actually don't use Facebook, so I've saved it as a bookmark
Smart.
on my browser so I can check in with it. But yeah, just a place for butt clenchers to unite, clench it up together, and chat about episodes, or like someone asked if anybody had a butt clencher sticker because she regretted not buying one. Stuff like that. So it's super fun. But we're just moving platforms. The thing's going to stay relatively the same, just moving to
Just live over there now.
live over it in Facebook. So I'll link it. So if you want to join, you can do that. That'd be amazing.
Yeah.
All right.
Got any strong feelings for us?
Oh, I do. Well, why don't you go first?
What? Hey, babe.
Hey, why don't you go first?
I'll go first. My strong feelings are, it's really fun to get stuff in the mail.
Yeah.
Like, I almost don't even care what it is, because we still get mail at this house for, I'm not exaggerating. Do you think it's accurate when I say at least 8 different humans?
Yeah.
Because I don't know if multiple people were living here before or if it's just turned over that many times. I don't really know the scenario.
Yeah.
But I feel like I know a little bit about these people.
Yeah.
And like based on the catalogs.
One of them needs to take their car in.
Yes. One of them needs to take their car and something has been recalled. So look out, Yolanda. You're never getting that information. Yeah. There's a guy, Michael. We got a lot of mail for
Pauline.
him. Yeah. Anyway. So
and then like every
still
2
exciting.
months, there's like a totally random one.
Yes. And I'm like, whoa, when was she here?
Yeah.
Is she still here?
Goblins.
Yeah. She's in our backyard. No. So anyway, all mail is pretty fun. But recently, like, let me back up. We went into Suddenly I was born. It was 1986. It's a cool October day. Okay. I in the last few months, you and I, T, have really like tightened up the Amazon shopping.
Yep.
We have, I mean, I've almost ordered nothing unless it was something that I literally couldn't get anywhere else.
Right.
And even then it was like, do I really need it right now? Like
Yep.
blah, blah. So I just haven't like added on.
We've clenched the finances.
Yes. Haven't really done any of that like extra feeling stuff. But I've got back to school on the brain and just like the fall, like what's ahead. And so I needed some school things, some homeschool things, some other things. Just getting ready, some stuff for Moms on Maui. Needed some things for that. Very excited.
Yes. Moms on Maui day 2s are available.
I know.
And
Not day 2, week 2.
week 2.
The first week is totally sold out.
Totally sold out.
Group text is hopping.
The group text is hopping.
It's fun. It's very fun. And then week 2.
So apply for week 2 in the show notes.
Apply for week 2. Come hang out on Maui with me for a week. It's going to be so fun. I am hopefully buying us all an ice machine. So that's real. Nugget ice. Come for the nugget ice. Okay. So I've been ordering more stuff and it's just fun. It's really fun when it shows up in the mail
fun.
because I mean, I paid for it, but I paid for the fun, but it's
fun.
just fun.
Could be a slippery slope though.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. That's the nice thing. It's like it's a double, what is it? Double-sided.
Double-edged sword.
It's a double twisted spoon where it's like, oh, I need something here on island. If I order it, it's going to take at least a week or more to get here. So sometimes you can talk yourself out of even needing it.
Yeah, do I even need it? Yeah.
But then other times you order it and then you forget and it shows up 10 days later and it's like it's almost even more exciting than it coming the next day.
Is it though?
No, it's not at all. I tried to convince myself of that just now.
The more exciting thing is sometimes your stuff will get put on a boat, take a month to get here. Amazon will apologize and refund you, and then
you get it for free.
Then you get it for free. So that's a diamond in the rough, but it does happen.
It does happen.
The less exciting thing is that everything is about 10 times more expensive here than anywhere else on planet Earth. So different kind of excitement, but
it's a twisty spoon.
It's a twisty spoon.
Yeah. What are your strong
My
feelings?
strong feelings are I fully understand the pickleball craze. I'm late to the game. It's been about
Dink.
What?
No, dink.
Dink.
Donk,
Dink.
doink. I said it right.
I dink donk doink. That's actually my pickleball username.
Dink donk doink.
Ladies and gentlemen, dink donk doink.
$4.98 because all the other ones were taken.
Dink donk doinks were taken. Dink donk doink. $29. I don't think you have to understand.
Dink donk doinker. Doinker. I barely know her.
Ding dong doinker coming out of both ends. Here he comes. Anyway, so Bethke got a pickleball court installed at his place.
Yeah.
And I would argue it has the best view of any pickleball court in the world.
It's possible.
And so we've been playing on Mondays, and I get why
you get the craze.
100%. It is so fun.
And I'm hoping I feel that way when I play eventually.
Because like I've tried a lot of different sports. Like I tried.
We get it.
Yeah.
We get it. You've tried a lot. Sorry.
So let me put it this way. I've tried climbing, which I really like.
You loved. You climbed for a long time.
But it's not easy to do. Like you can't just like.
No, I mean I couldn't show up and climb.
No, it'd be challenging.
Yeah.
So that one kind of that one's out because of that reason. Yeah. I did a little bit of like boxing training, which was fun but exhausting. And you have to learn like how to throw a punch and which side, and there's numbers and all this kind of stuff. I've done CrossFit, which I also do really like. I've played.
That's a workout though.
That's a workout. I've played like pitch and putt golf. Me and Mike used to play that pretty regularly.
Right, you did.
I've done bowling. Like I've done some of these other sort of sport activities.
Right.
All of them, like pitch and putt is so irritating because you're just like, this should be easier. And it's not.
Yeah.
And same with bowling. Like you're like, this should be easier.
Right.
But I cannot get a strike and my score is 90.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
The little girl 2 rows over beat me, But pickleball is like just easy enough that you
to keep you from like being like, I'm out.
Yeah. You can be competitive almost right away when you step on the court, unless you're playing someone who plays like all the time. But like if you and 3 other people who were like of average athletic ability went to a pickleball court to play, you would have a ton of fun.
Yeah.
Like it's a low barrier of entry And then it's just technical enough to keep you wanting more. Like I just want to be better at it. And I want to like be able to serve better and hit better and understand the game better.
Yeah.
That it's like just enough. And so I totally get the craze. And I guess it's causing, so I've read a few articles about it. Let me rephrase that. I've read headlines of articles about it. It's in the last year, there's been over $300 some million of insurance paid out because it's a sport geared towards the elderly. So that like, because of injuries.
Oh my goodness.
And then I guess in some cities, the sound, because it's a pretty loud sound, you're hitting a wiffle ball. So it's like a wiffle ball on like a plastic paddle.
Yeah.
And so there's a very specific sound to it.
Yeah.
And I guess like some people who are living in cities near courts, like it's driving them crazy. Like
to hear that sound
all they hear all day is like,
yeah.
But my strong feeling is that I very much understand.
You're in support of the craze.
Like there's some crazes that I'm like, I don't really get that. Like it's fun,
Like
but
planking.
yeah, but pickleball is a craze that I can get behind. And the Monday games are super fun.
That's awesome.
So those are my strong feelings. They're strong and they're feelings. They're my strong feelings.
I love it.
Okay. And since we're on the topic of segments, why don't we hit them with a Mount Rushmore? We haven't done that in a long time. Mount Rushmore, 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 Rushmore. Of gifts you like to send.
Gifts.
GIFs.
Some people are still on the GIF train.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I understand what they're saying,
but I don't trust them.
Yeah.
I love that for them, but you can't babysit my kids.
Right. 100%.
If you call it a GIF,
you can't apply to be our nanny. Sorry.
Are we taking applications?
Well, we are now, but it's not for those people. So
question 1. How do you say this word?
How do you pronounce GIF or GIF? Get out. GIF out of here. Okay.
Get the GIF out of here.
Yeah.
So mine are, I realized that after I sent them all to Brooke.
It's funny.
They all feature.
Look the same.
They all look the same. They're all sort of the same color palette. They're the same. Like every one of them has a man wearing like a brownish blazer.
Gray suit. Like an office suit.
So they are in no particular order. Jameson from the Spider-Man movies, like the Tobey Maguire ones, laughing when he's like, "Are you serious?"
So hard. Yeah.
I send that one all the time. Dwight, karate chopping, yes. Mm-hmm. And then two of them are
Dwight.
Two of them are, they say thank you. So one is the thank you with like the tears when Dwight, I think he's getting promoted to manager.
I think he's accepting the job, and he's like, "Thank you."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the other one is when Michael Scott slams the table.
Slaps the conference table.
And says, "Thank you."
Thank you.
When I think that's like the Willy Wonka episode. Because
or it's something where he has a terrible idea or he's misusing a word, and then he takes credit.
Those are mine.
You do send those for a lot.
Yeah.
I would add a fifth one you send a lot is the dog backing up. No, the dog in the fire, where it's like, "It's fine."
Oh, yeah,
or "I'm fine. This is fine."
Yeah, he's
and everything's
drinking the
on
coffee,
fire.
yeah.
And then Homer Simpson just backing up into the.
Those are solid. Yep.
Into the bushes.
Yep.
And disappearing.
And then I also send this one a lot. Wow. Yeah.
Mine would be in no particular order. The New Girl clip where she's crying about the puppy in the cup.
Great clip.
In a cup. It's Pam in her like talking head, one of her talking head scenes where she goes, "Yup," like really big. I
confirm.
I send that a lot. Forrest Gump running full speed.
Solid one.
That it's like he's like rounding the corner and running. I send that a lot. And then the scene where Oscar and Daryl and I think Kevin's in the background, or maybe somebody, where Oscar's dancing with his arms real crazy fast from. Is it that intro where they do like the long "Okay Go" type intro? No. When is he? It's the last day.
It's Daryl's last day, and
they have the dance party.
And he was just gonna leave, and he's like, "I'll do one thing with all of you. What do you want it to be?"
Yes.
And they're like, "We want to dance."
Yeah. We'll share all these to our stories.
Okay, cool.
Because I feel like you got to see them if you don't know what they are.
Yeah.
I probably send those for the most
accurate.
So, and I also send the lady in church, like praise hand woman. She looks like she's in like a Southern Baptist church. Yep. I send that a lot.
Hallelujah. All right, Brooke, how was your week?
My week was good. It's been a little more than a week, right? A week and a day, as they would say. I'm convinced that in another life, I would be from wherever the actor Michael Caine is from. It's like whatever I switch into a British accent.
That's it.
It's not the pretty one. It's not the like dainty.
You don't think Michael Caine's accent is pretty?
That's not true. I don't mean that. But I mean like you've got like Keira Knightley and all these people who are like, you're just like, they're kind of
Keira Knightley, high school crush.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting. You know that those reels of that girl who acts like her?
Yes.
And like she's like, it's snowing and like does all the stuff. Oh, those are so good.
People who can do accent like impersonations. There it is. Are very, very fun to watch on Instagram.
Yeah. I would just like to think that I'd have some like magical, or maybe like who plays Hermione? Emma Watson. Like some beautiful, but I don't. I break into this like, maybe I'm in a back alley.
I'm gonna shiv you, mate.
I'm missing some of Mousetis.
I like to smoke cigarettes. You got any?
Basically. And I'm like, what is happening when I do that? And you were just watching The Dark Knight or something where he was that, and he's having that scene where, no, it wasn't The Dark Knight. It was the third one with Bane.
Yep.
Spoiler alert. Bane's in that. And he's like talking to him about how he doesn't want to lose him again and blah, 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 blah. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's me. Like, that's the accent I do. Anyway, what was I saying? A week and a day. That's what I was saying.
I sell newspapers.
I was getting
you got any old bread?
Collections, I was.
Got any old bread for me at night?
Yeah. I just get like, I'm like horrible.
I've always thought that sort of idea is funny. Like pickleball is a great example, or video games. Like imagine like, you know,
you're your normal self.
People know me. They're like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm familiar with TJ. Like he's a nice guy. Mm-hmm. But then like in those moments, I'm just like game on and just start swearing and like throwing my paddle or like.
That would be so hard to watch.
Oh,
you'd have to switch accents to pull it off. So channel your back alley Michael Caine and it might work.
Back alley Michael Caine is your pickleball persona.
Oof.
I like that.
I'm into it.
Come on, governor.
Yeah.
You call that a dink?
Yeah. Too far, Brooke. Don't go there. Stay in the alley.
I live in the alley. Maybe you live there with Goblin.
Oh.
Hey, Goblin, get over here. We got a job to do.
Yeah, for sure. My week was good. It was mostly spent, I think, getting the collection ready.
100%.
Right?
Which is live, shop.walkinglive.com.
It's live. Yeah, just like taking product photos, taking photos of shirts on people, doing emails, you know, like doing all the stuff.
Is there anything from the collection that really surprised you? Either like the look of it or the sort of message of it? Like sometimes I feel, you know, we get so used to looking at items over and over again. Yeah. And then we see.
And very objectively. Yeah, what am I trying to say? Like
we look at our designs harshly, and because we're
trying to make business decisions.
Yeah, this one will sell well, this one won't sell well, like, right? You know, and so I do feel like there are times, specifically during launch week, that we're looking at them again and again and again. That one might hit differently or make you feel a feel, and so I was just wondering if that happened to you at all.
I was surprised. I don't know how else to say this. But like I was surprised at how much I liked, which is silly because I like the whole collection and like I mean that. But the Love is Full Verse, that is a very old design for us. I was like, yeah, cool, bring it back. People want it back. That sounds great. Yeah, I like it. Not gonna keep it or anything. And then it showed up on that spruce long sleeve, which is this like bluish green long sleeve right? It's like a mid-weight long sleeve or a vintage wash long sleeve. And it's how many times have I said this is so beautiful? Yeah. Like it's such a pretty shirt and I have no use for a long sleeve here, but I'm gonna keep it.
Yeah.
So that one surprised me.
From just like a
style
design standpoint.
Just like it still slaps. You know?
It still slaps. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like and then June was like, what does that say? Because she can't quite read the, you know, like sloppy cursive. And so I was like reading it to her and I was like, oh, it's still true today. Yes. You know.
Our God is enough. God. Okay.
Yeah, I think so. The other ones I was like kind of fully expecting to like all the ivory teas, and I do.
Mm-hmm. For me, I feel like mine, the one that sort of hit me differently. There's actually honestly 3 this time. The first, and these are more just like what they say was like, oh, you know, a lot of times I'll notice the shirt when I'm doing the opposite, like, or about to do the opposite. Like I'll see it says choose joy, and I'll be like, I was about to be like, pickleball Brooke,
back alley Brooke,
ready to shiv someone. And I look down and it's sort of like a reminder in the moment that I'm in. And for me this time, reading the shirt that says God is good all the time, it sort of overwhelmed me, that just in the idea that I don't know if not that I don't believe that, because I do believe that.
Correct.
But I don't think I live with a posture
that's sitting in that
says that rests in that trusts that.
Yeah.
Like, I think I probably live more in a posture of what I can do should be good all the time, or hopefully what I do is good enough all the time, or if I work hard, then God will be good all the time. Or like there's always sort of this balance to it, or this like internal, I need to do my part, more like it's all on me type vibe.
Yeah.
And so to see that on a shirt, and it's not a shirt I'll wear, like it's got 2 big flowers on it, but
although the sweatshirt looks really nice.
Just to read it, that God is good all the time, and then challenge myself to believe that.
Yeah.
Do I fully rest in the goodness of God all the time? Not just when things are smooth sailing and everything is going well, but also when I'm feeling frustrated or down, or like I'm not good enough, or I'm unlovable, or all those things. And so that one just sort of was like, oh, yeah, okay, okay, I needed that. And then the other one was actually Your Voice Matters, which Brooke's wearing now. Because we've told that story from the perspective of literally physical voice, and I think it resonates with a lot of women, because for a long time, because of your lack of physical voice, you felt like it doesn't matter what I say anyways.
Right.
And we often, at least in our, like, it's not a male shirt, it's very florally and stuff. And so for the 50 guys out there, it's going up.
Nice. I love it.
It was 10, now it's 50. There's
love
50
it.
of them.
Just speak it.
Yeah.
Do the natural.
100.
Whoa. Too much.
Too much.
Too much. Back it up.
Well, I don't know. They might like back alley.
Hey. Always going to do a separate episode, always am.
There is this element, especially culturally today, that men don't matter at all.
Yeah.
Like, they aren't needed.
Yeah.
They are replaceable.
Yeah. Right.
They
are
should,
the worst. They're the cause of every problem.
They should become women.
Right.
Yeah.
And
like, I guess I didn't see the Barbie movie, but my favorite critic was basically just like, I don't know who wrote this movie, but whoever did hates half their audience. They hate men. It was like sort of just like men are the worst.
Yeah.
And he's not a believer, the critic that I watch.
No.
And he even at the end was like, if you have daughters, don't take them to see this movie.
Right.
Like, and I'm not one to tell you how to parent your kids, but I would strongly say, don't take your daughter. Like, the first scene I think is like women in like traditional motherhood attire, like girls smashing their baby dolls in lieu of seeing this giant sort of Barbie statue that like, let's shed this idea of motherhood and let's just look at what is,
Yeah.
So anyways, and so, there's all these things in culture that are basically saying men's voices don't matter, or should be silenced, or should be quieted, or should be more womanly or more feminine. And so to read that on the shirt and just be like, yeah, that's true for us guys too.
Yeah.
It's true for me that my voice matters, that what I have to say, both in our family and in culture, matters. That like, and because good men haven't said what matters for such a long period of time, there's this vacuum now that's, and then once you do get one that says what matters, culture attacks them, but also they get, like you think of even just like the secular sort of thought leaders like Joe Rogan, Jordan Peterson, Huberman, like some of these guys who are just like saying honest truths about masculinity and manhood,
unrelated to
to being a believer. People are flocking to them because they need it
because it rings true, and so, you know it deep down.
And so I felt convicted by that shirt, that design. That was just like, I again, same with the God is good all the time. It's not that I don't believe it. It's that maybe I don't believe it all the time. Maybe I don't rest in it fully. And same with Your Voice Matters. Maybe there are times in my life where I've been sort of self-deprecating enough to say, hey, that doesn't matter. Don't say that. Just be funny, goofy TJ, and let that be that. And so those two were like sort of just very impactful. And then the other one was the one I'm wearing, Joy Comes in the Morning. Like I felt very challenged by my posture in the morning. You know, what kind of message am I sending both to the day ahead and to the kids and wife that are groggily coming out of bed? You know, am I pissy? Am I angry? Am I frustrated?
Is you a little pissy?
I'm a little pissed off, isn't I? We weren't allowed to say that.
Oh, we're not. Are we allowed to say that now?
I'm sorry, Mom and Dad, I'm really sorry. Please forgive me. I said pissed. And suck. That was the other one. Don't say. If I ever said, I'm so pissed, this sucks. I even feel bad saying it now.
I'm telling you, do we need to restart this whole episode over?
Might. I just cringed a little bit. I'm so sorry. If you had kids listening, I'm so sorry. But yeah, so like Joy Comes in the Morning, you know, and I love the idea of like every day we get another chance to follow Jesus, to live for him, to trust in him, to believe that God is good all the time, to, you know, follow where he leads, to steward what he's given us well. Like there is a reset every day. Yeah. And so am I using my morning to maximize that reset? Am I using my morning to glorify him? And, you know, so for me lately, it's been, I've been having some sort of lower back pain. And so for me, it's like, if I want to have a better day and I'll stretch, like if I stretch in the morning, I'll feel better physically throughout the day, which will make me less angry, which will make me less frustrated. And so Joy Comes in the Morning starts with something I don't like to do.
There's discomfort on both sides.
You know, and so I've been challenged by that phrase is like, am I living my life? Again, they sort of all three designs that have kind of impacted me this time have kind of
boiled down to
this question. Is like, am I living my life like God is good all the time? Am I living my life like my voice matters? Am I living my life believing that joy comes in the morning? Yeah. And so through that, I've just been challenged, and I definitely feel like, you know, I'll wear the Joy Comes in the Morning one the most, but you know, I'm thinking about putting the stickers or something somewhere so I can just see the other two and just let them sort of percolate. Yeah. So
that's good. Well, I'll use your stretching example.
Okay.
To get into the discomfort on both sides.
You wills you?
I was going to use it. So, you and I had talked about this 2 episodes ago, maybe like in the first part of the travel episode. We were, I don't know, somewhere near the end, somewhere at some point, you and I were talking about how like, there's discomfort on both sides. And so it's like, we can, you know, just be willing to push through one. Or I don't even fully remember the point we made because we told so much in those 2 episodes. But ever since you and I have said that sentence to each other, which we had said back when we were still in Pennsylvania, making notes for the event and just kind of
we'd said it on stage at the live event.
Unpacking some stuff. It has stuck with me more than I thought it would. Because I guess in the moment I didn't think it would. Like it was just like, oh yeah. I mean, you and I, we talk about so much stuff and unpack so much stuff together that it doesn't not all of it is like, whoa. Not
all of it sticks like Goblin.
Right. Not all of it. And so I just I have not stopped thinking about it.
Well, I think.
And so I wrote it down on a note card and stuck it on the fridge because I then was like, I haven't stopped thinking about it. Now I want to think about it. Okay. Like I put it there so I would keep thinking about it and recognizing it. So you could use your stretching example. I was thinking about it in terms of I'd been feeling like, man, I have got to cut back on the sugary stuff because I feel horrible. Yep. I feel horrible. But here's so stick with me as I try to
sticking with you for life, babe.
Thanks, babe. So often somebody said, when I asked people a couple weeks ago what our catchphrases were on Instagram, because I was working on the website. I don't know if you saw that.
I did.
A few people, most of it was like, there was like 2 or 3 that rose to the top for both of us, like just all of them. But a couple of them for me was like, well, speaking for myself, which is so funny. And I was like, I mean, I do say that a lot, but I feel the need to say that on 100%. The podcast because I don't want to be like we and like just wrap everybody in with what I am thinking or processing.
I love that.
But
for you.
That was one of yours. No, like I often... It's this combination of all these things. Remember we were talking about like the difference between worry and fear and anxiety. And then we were talking about how like, and if you're in the like anxiety side of things, you often overestimate the problem and underestimate yourself. Like all that whole conversation. Yep. I feel like there's something there for me with the discomfort on both sides. So I often discredit or don't pay attention to, or something like that, the discomfort I'm in now. I make a bigger deal of, I make a monster of, I think, ooh, that's going to be so hard and scary. Whatever's on the other side of the discomfort. So whether it's like a line or it's like I'm jumping from this side to this side, I don't know, like, or in either hand, however you want to talk about it, like whatever's over there, not yet where I'm at. That discomfort is going to be so much worse than where I'm at. And so I often stay where I'm at. Mm-hmm. And I could be I feel like a
very good example for you specifically, which is how this conversation started, is you often feel like the discomfort of traveling is way worse than the discomfort of not going. Like, I'm here now. Why would I travel? That is so much discomfort.
Why would I step into that and do that to myself?
You know, and because of our last experience, you sort of got desensitized to it.
I'm numb to all travel now. Bring it on. but it was funny. I was like, hey, one of the plus sides of that is I feel totally desensitized to the traveling experience. Not literally completely, but I was thinking about it with like the sugar, right? So, and I'm not even like crazy was eating sugar, but I was eating enough throughout the week. I was eating some every day in a little capacity. And I would then go to the weekend where I'm like, well, I eat sugar on the weekend. I eat sugar Friday into Saturday. Yeah. So I'd stick with that. And I was just like, my digestion, just everything. Like I'm just like wrecked up and so tired of it. And so I was like, okay, but like, and again, these aren't all like super conscious conversations I'm having with myself. It's just kind of like down under there, like, well, giving up sugar, that sounds hard. Yeah. That sounds not fun. Mm-hmm. Why would I want to do that? What if somebody offers me something? What if I just want something? What, you know, blah, 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 all these things. And then I'm like, I saw that note card on the fridge and I was like, are all of those questions actually more discomforting than the literal physical discomfort I'm in right now? Yeah. Having some sugar every day. Yeah. And I was like, no. Like, and I don't know if it's always like you just decide which side has less comfort and you go there. Right. That's not really my point, but what I mean is that like, that's a good example for me of how I discredit the discomfort I'm already sitting in, because I could do the same thing with my voice a long time ago. Because my voice would get bad and I would lose it pretty slowly and gradually, you start to believe as it goes downhill, this is the new normal. It's not that bad. Yeah. And then it goes lower. No, this is normal. It's not that bad. And it's low until it's like, you're like, oh my goodness, this is not normal. It is bad. But it's like,
but you talk yourself out of going to get checked because you're like, oh, well, this is a moderate amount of discomfort. Going to get checked and having the surgery and going through all that. That's way more discomfort.
Yes. And so I tend to make a bigger like out of whatever's on the other side instead of fully acknowledging and making myself admit the discomfort I'm in now. Yeah. Because I don't ever want to be in discomfort. Right. Like, and I don't mean like possessions, discomfort, like that sort of like, I don't have everything I need, but I mean like just my personality, my like peacemaking internally. I don't want to feel things. Let's try to stay steady. Yeah. Like I don't like discomfort. I mean, I don't think a ton of people do, but some people can handle it way better than others. 100%. They're the ones like hiking deserts and running marathons. And I'm like, clearly.
I don't know if you hike a desert, but I get what you're saying.
No, what was that? Okay, not hiking. What was it? We had to almost turn it off. What was
it was
that
like
person?
it was like a super ultra marathon or something like that. And
she looked like she was hiking in the desert. That's what I meant. But I have, in the last maybe 2 weeks, probably, around a variety of topics, either that we talked about or that I've just been like thinking about in my head, school coming up, this, that, or are we doing this? Are we traveling there? Am I, whatever. I've been making myself sometimes write down literally all the discomfort around that topic that I'm already in. Because I need to see it. I need to see like, whoa, I actually do feel things about it now.
Yep.
Or it is changing my behavior now. Or I am grieving that now. Like, is it really that much worse to switch or to take the next step or to jump to the other side or whatever the thing is? That's been super helpful to me. Yeah, because I tend to just be like, I don't know, sounds scarier over there.
Yeah, I think the initial start of this conversation was actually like an Instagram reel I saw where a guy was talking about how, going to the gym, what's the stat? There's like a stat that's like every hour you spend in the gym adds 3 minutes to your life or something like that. Like every hour you spend in physical fitness. I think
it's more than that, but sure.
But it adds time to your life. Like studies have been done to show that, like, imagine that taking care of your body makes you live longer.
Yeah.
And so this reel was talking about how like, it's just as uncomfortable to work out really hard as it is to wait in a doctor's office for your medication that you need to like keep your heart pumping.
Where you physically feel uncomfortable. Yes.
And so a lot of times what we think is like, oh, but this one is so uncomfortable right now that like that's a problem for future TJ. But all future TJ is going to think is, hey, dumb past TJ, why don't you take better care?
Back alley TJ,
yeah.
Why don't you
take better care of us? Because now I'm so far, especially when you think about physicality, I'm so far gone that now it's even more discomfort to get back into shape or to feel better or to move better or more smoothly. And so, when I think about TJ in the future who like has a roughed up back because he never stretched or never took care of his mobility, I know that will be far more discomforting than 12 minutes of stretching a day or 14 minutes or even 30 minutes of stretching a day.
Yeah.
And so that is sort of a motivational tactic to like stay the course now.
Yeah.
Because again, but here's the thing, and this is what I would argue to people who are like, well, there's discomfort on both ends. Like,
100%. That's literally what we just said.
That's true.
So I've had to become more okay with that. There's discomfort everywhere.
But here's the thing is like, you can use the current discomfort, like the now discomfort can often turn into success or growth, triumph or like completion or accomplishment. Because like, as you eat less sugar, like that discomfort gets easier, but you 100%. Also feel...
I'm 2 weeks into not having any except for like 3 separate occasions.
But you also feel better about it in the moment. And so the discomfort on the front side actually leads to mental toughness, clarity, focus, courage, bravery, all those things. June actually just asked me today in the car. She said, Dad, am I tough? And I said, well, I believe there's 2 kinds of toughness. I believe there's the physical toughness of like, hey, I fell down, I scraped my knee and I'm not crying or, like, and
you just hop up and keep going
and I was like, yes, you have that toughness. We develop that toughness more and more as we get older. And I said, but the more important toughness is the mental toughness. And she's like, well, what's mental toughness? And I said, it's like, if your room is dirty and you got to clean it, and you don't want to, the mental toughness is saying, no, I'm going to clean it anyways. And then I use the example of like when people want to lose weight, when they get older and squishier, the mental toughness is like not eating junk food, and she's like, well, do I have mental toughness? And I said, you have a little bit of it now.
Yeah.
But you're going to grow that mental toughness more and more and more and more. And eventually you'll have a baby and you'll be so mentally. And so I believe that like the discomfort on both ends, they don't weigh the same. I actually feel like the one on the back end is so much weightier and heavier and more damaging and depressing and hurtful than the discomfort on this end.
You're talking in like a timeline sense.
In a timeline sense. Like if we like, push off our discomfort in the name of current person,
right.
The discomfort I think it compounds in interest.
Right.
You know, like if you don't call that person to apologize today that you need to say sorry to, and you wait 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, that is going to weigh so much heavier on you 10, 20, 30 years from now than it does today.
Right.
And so I think, yes, there's discomfort on both ends, but I fully believe that the discomfort on the back end is heavier. And so we should live a life.
When talking, And I had not been picturing it in terms of a timeline at all. So that's why I'm trying to clarify. Because to me, what I would hear is like, then don't travel because that's the other side. You know what I mean? I know you're not saying that. So that's why I'm saying like, you're talking like timeline and discomfort.
Let's use travel as an example. Like, let's say you decide you're never going to travel and visit friends and family and all this kind of stuff. It's too hard. It's too exhausting, all the kinds of things. I don't like airplanes or whatever your reasoning is.
Right.
That discomfort causes you not to travel.
Right.
You spend the next 20 years of your life not seeing the people you love.
Right.
In 20 years, your biggest regret will be that discomfort of travel will compound to this emotional baggage that you end up carrying through life that you can't get rid of.
Yeah.
Like there's no going back and saying like, and Josh talks about this all the time. The number one regret people have in their lives when they're on their deathbed, no matter how rich they are, how poor they are, is that they didn't like live a more full life. They didn't spend time doing the things that they loved with the people that they loved.
Wanted to do. Yeah.
And so we often say, well, there's discomfort in sort of scheduling the time or affording it or, you know, whatever. But then at the end of your life, that discomfort will compound and it will be emotional, heart level sadness.
Yeah.
That a lot of people live with.
Yeah.
And so I think the phrase, there's discomfort on both ends, but choose it now. Sides. I would say there's discomfort on both sides, but choose to face the discomfort earlier rather than later.
You're saying to choose it. We're saying the same thing. You're saying to choose it now. And what I'm saying is to acknowledge that it does exist. Because I have spent a lot of time in my life not consciously realizing that I've convinced myself that if I stay where I am, I'm avoiding the discomfort.
Yeah.
Because there is none here and it's over there.
Yeah.
And as long as I don't go there or do X or whatever, there is none.
Right.
Look at me. I've avoided it all. And I'm like,
but eventually you'll get there.
100%.
And you've been getting there in some areas of life.
Is like, it's already here.
Yeah.
It's on both sides. It's wherever it's life.
Yep.
It's life. So what am I going to do about it?
Yeah.
What am I going to change? Who am I going to become? Just like all those things, knowing that like, whether I'm here or I'm there, I'm going to feel it. Do I think it weighs the same? Do I think it's proportionate? No. I don't think so.
Yeah.
But it'll be there.
And as parents especially, we need to give our kids an example of what it's like to face that discomfort. Your kids hearing you say, well, I'm not going to eat that today because I want to get healthier, or I need to go to the gym because I need to take care of my body, or them seeing that and watching that year after year, day after day is going to do something to their little hearts and souls that propels them as a person to face discomfort.
Yeah.
And right now, you know, speaking of, like we were talking about culture, like culture right now has told us to avoid discomfort at all costs. Don't do anything. Don't say anything.
If it's uncomfortable,
it's bad.
It's bad.
Yeah.
Or if it makes you feel something bad, it's bad. Not feel something bad, but like, yeah, I'm with you. Yeah. And like your examples were both about like eating things, which are great examples. But like when I think about parenting, like, okay, how do I show my girls what it looks like to walk through the discomfort, to acknowledge, hey, it's here and it's going to be over there, but I'm still going to go from A to B or whatever. To me, this must be a big thing for me in my life because it's the same example again, getting into really cold water, like not wanting to swim and have a moment, not going under the waterfall with my kids because it's too cold.
Yeah.
Like, really? Come on. I mean, it is. It's freaking cold. But like that discomfort, one, it goes away once you get in.
Yep.
You're numb. You can't feel anything. So it's fine. No, it's really not that cold. It's cold. It's cold compared to the ocean, but it's not that cold. But like, it's funny. I think about like, you know, what does it look like for me to show my girls that like, hey, I'm going to get in, and maybe even say it like, well, I'll get in because I want to get in with you. Or if you want me to get in, I'll get in.
Yeah.
Instead of like, oh, I don't want to get in. It's so cold. And listen, there's a time and a place where I don't get in. I'm not saying you have to get in all the time. It's not like all in or all out. But like, it's funny that mine wasn't about teaching them about healthy food or anything. Mine was like, how do I show them that like I can literally physically push through something uncomfortable in the name of, again, it's on both sides. I'm still uncomfortable in the water. It's cold as heck. But like,
well, how would Back Alley Brooke say that?
Some words I might. As cold as, I like so cold. But it's similar to the like the reel we made about like, will they remember it or not? Like it's kind of the same idea. Like, but if I get to an older version of my kids or myself, where I've spent my life not getting in the waterfall or getting in the waterfall, it's two different people.
100%. And your relationship is changed and altered because of that with June and Sunny and Daisy.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I think when we live with like and this is what Jeremy always talks about, like living with a grandfather or grandmother perspective.
Yeah.
It will radically change the amount of discomfort we're willing to face on this end.
Yes.
Because on the back end, we want to harvest in joy.
Yeah.
Like, you know, we want to be the grandfather and grandmother sitting on the porch with our grandkids with full hearts, knowing that like we gave it, fully knowing for them that we gave it our all.
Yeah.
Like, yes, we made mistakes. Yes, we messed up. Yes, we made errors, but at least we were in the waterfall the whole time, you know?
Yeah.
And I would argue even, and Brooke, like even you saying like, there's a time and a place. Like, I think us in the future will say we should have done it every time. I think,
I just meant like, I didn't want to be so blanket statementy that it's like, you know, you've told your kids you're packing up, you've all packed up, everybody has their shoes on, and the 4-year-old's like, get in the water. And you're like, no, we're leaving. Like, that's what I meant. But yes.
But even in that moment, you know, why not? And that's
sometimes that's a very legitimate question to ask.
You know, why not? What's it like? Do I have to just drive home wet?
Right.
Sitting on a towel? Like, why not? And when we live with that perspective, Josh and Christy talk about that in their book, Famous at Home.
Yeah.
Like, if I can say why not, and I have a legitimate reason why not, like, we're going to miss an airplane, like, we're going to, you know, we got to check out of our hotel, like, then there are times.
Travel's on your mind.
Yes. But if my answer is because I don't want to.
Yeah. I mean, that's why Fun Summer Mom. What did I call it?
Fun Summer Mom.
It was literally like that, like a continual daily, multiple times a day checking of myself. It's like kind of like a yes day, but not quite that crazy and extreme, but just like why not?
Why not?
You know, can we go to the library? I mean, as long as I don't have a legitimate reason why we can't right now. Sure.
Yeah. And so as you, I would sort, you know, again, the encouragement. Now I'm going to come in with the challenge. Yeah. I believe that there is something that rises to the surface when this conversation happens. Like there's something almost immediately that's like, what is the discomfort now that I'm avoiding that will actually compound and become much more uncomfortable? Yeah. It could be a year from now. It could be 5 years from now.
Yeah. I think you avoid it. You avoid, again, I wish you could see me, but like you avoid meaning anybody, you avoid the over there because I at least am convinced there isn't anywhere I'm already at.
Right.
So for me, the like shattering, like, you know, glass crashing moment is like, there's discomfort everywhere and I'm going to take it with me no matter where it goes. Yeah. So now where do I want to go? Who do I want to be? Because it's coming along no matter what, because that is life.
Yeah.
And that it no longer becomes the sole filter through which I would make a decision.
Right.
Like, oh, well, this one's less discomforting, so I'm going to choose that.
And so I would just encourage you as you talk with your spouses or your friends or your parents or whoever, you know, be honest, be truthful. Like, what is that discomfort that you're avoiding now that's going to compound and you're going to look, you know, as a grandparent or, you know, like you're going to look back and think, man, I wish I would have approached that sooner.
Yeah.
And how can you approach it now? And like, I'm not saying you have to, you know, do a backflip off the waterfall to approach it. I don't think that. Maybe that, like, for some of us, that's the way it works. Like, some of us have to just jump in.
Yeah.
Like, that's the only way we're going to do it. And some of us can put our toes in, warm, like, let them adjust, and then keep going in. And eventually we end up in the same place. Yeah. And so there are different ways of approaching it. And it depends on the severity and the extremeness and all those things. But what's one thing, and if you're the type of personality that's like, I'm just going to jump in. I need to just approach it. I need to rip the Band-Aid off. I need to just go for it. Then do that. But if you need
I think if you have the self-awareness to know which one you are you the person that needs to joyfully but slowly walk into that waterfall and be like, I'm coming, I promise, as you make your way in, versus climbing to the top of the rock like you do, T, and literally jumping in?
Because we've done this, like I'll use your sugar example. We've gone through ebbs and flows of eating healthier and not eating so healthy and eating healthier. And there have been times where we've been like, okay, like we're just going to enjoy the weekend and then we'll start on Monday. Like I've said that many times in our lives. Yeah. And this last time you were like, no, I'm starting today.
Yes.
Like you were just,
I've worked through that a lot with like, that was something that came from you a little more. The like, I'll do it on a Monday. And I'm like, why am I waiting for all these Mondays? Like, this doesn't matter to me. Like, it's not what matters most to me. So it's like when I cut gluten. Yeah. I didn't wait till the next Monday. Yeah. I started the actual next day.
And so there are areas of your life where
there's areas of my life where I jump in.
But you used to tiptoe in and now you jump in. And so I think as you approach discomfort, you will find that your muscle memory is getting trained to be a person who jumps into it.
I'm climbing the rocks and
rather
jumping
than
in so much faster
than just being tiptoe. And I think there's probably a lot of peace in that. That sort of just like, I'm going to approach it. I'm going to be an adult. I'm going to be a grown up. I'm going to approach it, fully. And again, that's something that you learn over time, but I do want to acknowledge that I've seen that in you.
Oh, thank you.
Which has been really, really cool.
I hate to break it to you, but I don't think I will ever actually jump off that waterfall because it's like legitimately my ultimate fear of heights.
I can foresee a day.
Oh, wow.
When June is 14, 15.
Yeah.
I think that our girls entering their teenage years of life will push you physically further than you've ever been pushed.
Yeah.
From like I never thought I would do this.
I can't.
But again,
I know.
When we think about the perspective of Grandma Granny Foo-Foo.
Yeah.
You want to be the mom that did that.
She was raised in a back alley, but she went to like a class school or what's that called when you come fancy? When you like
fancy school.
When you go to a fancy school. So she hides it pretty well now.
Yeah.
But she's had one too many drinks. And then
and
back alley Foo-Foo comes out strong.
Oh man, that's really good. I hope that encouraged you today like it did me.
And it kind of feels silly. I'm like, duh, there's discomfort, but like really you're 36 and just realizing all of life is, and it's like, no, I'm not just realizing, but it was like this at this time in this season, phrased that way, coming off of that experience, it was like, oh wow, I do that in other areas of life.
Yeah.
Let me think about those and see how I could change that.
Yeah.
Like
And that's honestly what we hope to do with the podcast. Like we want to provide language that helps you live a more full life. And I think the people that approach discomfort, whether it's physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, they live a more full life. It's the people that avoid all those areas of discomfort that like, you're just like, I don't want to be like you.
No.
Like,
are you here? Are you a zombie?
Yeah.
What's going on? Hello?
So, well, thank you so much for listening to episode 178. Wow. We are so close. Not so close, but close-ish
enough. Yeah.
To 1 million downloads.
Yeah.
Which that's crazy.
That's a lot of downloads.
That's wild.
Yeah.
So thank you for that. Thank you for being here. The Rejoice Always collection is available through August 3rd at midnight, which also means August 4th when I wake up and shut it all down. So you have we buffer a little bonus time in there for those of you.
You panic, wake up panicked. Suddenly I found myself awake and panicked.
My mom actually missed a collection one time and she called me. She's like, do you think you put in an order for me?
Yeah.
I said, no.
Yeah.
Shop when it's open, Mom. Those are the rules. No. And so if you use the code YUCK, YUCK, you'll save extra as being a podcast listener. And if you could do us a favor this week, it would be to send someone either a link to our website, our shop.walkandlove.com, or send them your favorite podcast episode. Yeah. We want the podcast audience to grow. We want the butt clencher community to get bigger. We need bigger butts. And
Collectively, we need a bigger butt.
Yeah, collectively we want to clench the biggest butt on the planet. And so the only way to do that, there's no like magic formula for growing a podcast.
No.
Like it's really
it's actually still one of the most like grassroots.
Yeah.
Like truly tell a friend, tell a neighbor, like word of mouth thing
ever
left out there.
Yeah. Like there's no going viral. It just is. And so you texting a friend or telling a friend, I mean, that's how we've grown so far is, you bringing your spouse along.
We were just having a conversation about this and then you share it
it goes a lot longer than you probably give yourself credit for.
Yeah.
So we would love for you to do that this week. And we thank you for doing it. So thanks for listening. Thanks for making us a part of your week. Okay. I love you. Bye.